We are coming up on 8 years that I have been a full-time entrepreneur, but I wasn't always a full-time entrepreneur. If you're thinking about making the leap and you're like, ooh, girl, Courtney, how do we do this? How do we make this leap? Just sit down and I'll tell you how I did it myself. Hey, Courtney Sanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time certified 7-figure life and business coach, as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and do all the things. And I've been doing it for a long time now. I'm trying to think. As I'm recording this, it's 2024. I went full-time in 2016. So we are coming up on 8 years that I have been a full-time entrepreneur, but I wasn't always a full-time entrepreneur. Being a full-time entrepreneur now is certainly what I would consider my dream life. But before then, I had a corporate career like many of you watching this. And so I actually left at, I won't say the height of my career, but it was definitely heating up. I worked in finance and banking, particularly in government finance, and I was a part of a leadership program that attracted youth straight out of college. I was a part of like the junior associates, and so we kept working, and I had just completed that leadership program, and I had gotten my promotion, I had gotten my office, and I was on track to make 6 figures and maybe perhaps even a multi-6-figure career, certainly if I would have stayed at this point, but I left it all behind to have my dream career as an entrepreneur. So if you're thinking about making the leap and you're like, ooh, girl, Courtney, how do we do this? How do we make this leap? It's possible. Don't worry. Just sit down and I'll tell you how I did it myself. All right, the first thing that I did was I decided. I simply decided. Yes, I always say that decision is often the most important first step, because oftentimes people will not decide until they know exactly how it's going to play out. But I decided before I knew how it was going to play out. I knew that I wanted to live this dream life. I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew that even when I had graduated college and took the job, but I had decided once I took the job that I was only gonna be there for 4 or 5 years. I think I left after 4 years. I had just completed that leadership program. I was going into my 5th year and I left. I gave myself that deadline back then, even though I had no idea how I was going to make it happen. So if you are maybe in the swing of your career, maybe you're at the height, things are going amazing on paper, you're getting promotions, you're getting salary bumps, all of those things, but deep in your heart that you are looking to transition out, to do something else, to do something that's going to give you more freedom, more impact, just more of the lifestyle that you want to live. Even if you don't know how you're going to make it happen, but if you stick around my channel, and certainly if you join me in my coaching programs, you will learn how to make it happen. But before all of that, right now, you have to make that decision. In fact, if you're gonna make that decision, go ahead and type in the comments, I've decided, right? Just drop that in the comments, I've decided. It could be just anonymous, no one has to know your screen name, but make that decision. That is the first step, because all the other opportunities will become available to you once you make that decision. All right, once I made the decision, the next thing was I got clear on what I wanted my dream life to look like. And I say this because entrepreneurship is very, very celebrated in our society, but oftentimes people jump into entrepreneurship and they don't put any forethought into what they want their life to look like as an entrepreneur. And so my ideal or dream life as an entrepreneur might look totally different than yours. And so it's so important that you get clear on what that was. And so for me, I knew that there had to be a lot of lifestyle elements involved. Firstly, I knew that I needed flexibility in my schedule. I'm very much a free spirit, which is kind of weird because I actually have an engineering background. If you've been around my channel, you know my whole story. I went to school originally for engineering, later switched to marketing, again, had my first and only corporate career in finance, and then now I do coaching. So I've kind of been all over the place. But even though I have very much this kind of left brain analytical side to me, I'm also very right-brained, creative, free-spirited, want to do my own thing. And so I knew from a very early age, I mean, even in like elementary school, I would just, long for the day when I had a doctor's appointment and my mom would take me out of school early at like 1 p.m. and I would get to go to McDonald's afterwards. And that just felt like such freedom. Like, oh, I don't have to be locked here in these 4 walls. I knew that if I was going to create my own entrepreneurial opportunity, that I needed that same lifestyle and flexibility. I also knew that I loved to travel. Even when I was working my corporate job, I was stretching it. I was taking time off, going different places. I remember I'd gone to Spain actually right before I ended up coming back and putting in my 2 weeks notice. And part of the reason why I decided decided that my dream life and my entrepreneurship needed to look this way was because I dreaded going on these trips and then having that last day where you're like, oh my goodness, I gotta get on the plane, I gotta get back home, I gotta get back to the office. Like, I just wanted that life of freedom to be my life all the time. So I was very clear on what I want my life to look like, not just that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So again, that might look different for you. Maybe you don't want to travel. Maybe you have kids that have a lot of games and school events and different things, and you kind of want to just stay put and stay rooted. That's totally fine. But whatever your dream life looks like, again, once you've made the decision that you are going to go after it, you then want to get clarity on what that dream life actually looks like. All right, so the next thing that I did that allowed me to quit my 6-figure corporate job and live my dream life is I built a coaching business. And obviously I'm biased, right? I'm a coach. I train and certify coaches. Yes, if you didn't know, I actually have a coaching certification program, which will not only provide you with an accredited coaching certification. So it's not just a coaching certification because I say it is. It's a coaching certification because it's accredited by a recognized international third-party coaching accreditation company. But beyond that, we will also show you how to build and brand your own coaching business from scratch. I mean, we show you how to find your niche. We help you put together your package. So if you didn't know that that's what I do that. And if that's something that's of interest to you, you can click the link in the descriptions below in order to learn more about it. But I just say that, like, yes, I'm biased. I'm very much pro coaching. But the reason that I'm pro coaching is because coaching is such a great bedrock to launch so many other initiatives, especially if you think you might be a serial entrepreneur the way I am. So I launched my coaching business first because I knew I didn't want to launch a business that was going to require me to, get venture capital or to get these like massive loans from the bank. I didn't want to have brick and mortar. I didn't want to have inventory. I didn't want to do any of the traditional things that many traditional businesses have to do in order to get started up. I wanted something that was fast, something that I could basically start, in my house, that I could start whenever I wanted to, and something that I could start with the resources that I readily had available. And so that's why coaching was so amazing, not just because it allowed me to get started basically with my laptop, but I loved that my inventory, so to speak, my asset as the business was my wisdom, right? I was essentially turning my wisdom into wealth. And so I recommend coaching businesses for people who are looking to do their first foray out of corporate America and into entrepreneurship for all of those reasons, right? You're not gonna have massive overhead. You don't need an office space. You don't need inventory. You can take the knowledge that you already have inside of you, you can package it up, and you can start monetizing it online to people all over the world, and you can then replace your income. And so once you're able to do that and you've got some traction, you can grow it to however big you want it to be. If you want to keep it at just a lifestyle business that supports your lifestyle, that's totally fine. Me, I'm going for it. I'm gunning it. We've now have a team of 20, which is like insane for me to even say that. But we have 20 different people that work for me in different capacities all over the world. We have now started to branch out into different businesses. We have a done-for-you marketing agency. We're starting to get into corporate coaching and corporate consulting. And I have aspirations of doing even non-coaching related businesses, but I'm so grateful that I started this business first because it really helped me cut my teeth in entrepreneurship, and it gave me a basis and a foundation to build all of these other entrepreneurial initiatives off of. So if you want to create a life of freedom, your dream life, etc., and you're looking to transition out of your 6-figure corporate job in order to do that, I'm sorry, I'm biased, but I think doing this as a coach is one of the best ways that you can go. All right, the next thing that I did that helped me transition quickly is that I focused almost exclusively on building my brand and then learning how to sell. I say this because I find that coaches or aspiring coaches often have it backwards. They know, okay, I want to learn how to coach if they don't know how to coach. And so they're like, okay, let me get my coaching certification, which is great. Again, I offer coaching certification, so there's certainly nothing wrong with that. But they think that it's like school, like, oh, okay, I get my degree. And then, okay, somebody give me a job. I have my degree. I have my piece of paper. And that's not how it works in coaching. And it's certainly really not even how it works in entrepreneurship. You are going to have to make a name for yourself. You're going to have to build your brand, and you're going to have to learn how to sell. And so I focus on that almost exclusively. Even before I had clients, I was focused on building my brand, because if I knew that I had a brand, once I started to get clients, I knew that that brand would allow me to consistently and continuously attract clients, because my name would have been known for something in my industry. And then from learning how to sell, that was really important, because oftentimes people don't realize this, selling one-on-one is some of the easiest selling you can do. Nowadays, people see, coaches like me doing launches, selling at events, challenges, challenges, whatever, all of these big things that they're doing, these big live, online, and sometimes in-person promotions, and they think that that's what they need to do in order to make sales, not realizing that we first got our start just selling one-to-one, right? It was just me and prospective clients, either in the DMs on social media or on, consultation calls, me walking them through what the process would look like in order to work with me. So I worked really hard. I invested a lot of money, both in getting my brand together, but also in working with my own sales coaches and learning how to sell. And once I mastered those things, it became increasingly easy for me to land consistent clients. In fact, landing consistent clients is what actually allowed me to leave my six-figure job, because I had a wait list of clients. I mean, I had clients that had paid me in full back in like July and August, and some of them weren't even gonna start their coaching engagements until October. Like, that's the kind of wait list that I had, but people were paying me in full, and it was allowing me to generate $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in 1 month. And I was making more money than I would have made for the rest of the year in my corporate job. So really prioritize branding, really prioritize selling, and from there, you'll find it a lot easier to step away from your job. All right, and the next thing that I did, and the thing that I still do even to this day that I think is so important, because oftentimes we can lose this, and that is I stayed committed to my vision. And when I say I stayed committed to my vision, I mean, not only did I stay committed to my vision in terms of what I wanted to create, I've always wanted, what I call an empowerment empire, right? This company that really helps people with their personal development and their businesses and achieving their dreams and all of those things. But I also stayed committed to my vision in terms of what I wanted my life to look like from a lifestyle standpoint as an entrepreneur. And I say this because it's very easy to get into entrepreneurship and get so caught up in the hustle and grind, and I got bills to pay and I got to keep money coming in the door, that you end up building your business in a way that doesn't really suit you personally. And so I feel really grateful that I've stayed committed to that vision in terms of how I wanted my life to look, because it has allowed me to not only run this business, but grow this business even as I've grown my family. I'm now a mom of 2. I wasn't a mom when I first started in entrepreneurship, but I have small children. I have parents and siblings and, friends and family that are important to me, that I travel to see and that I want to make time for. I'm grateful that I have structured my business this way and that I have stayed true to that vision, because it has allowed me to maintain this business in a way that not just is profitable, but really is peaceful, right? It allows me to maintain my sanity, to maintain my peace, to feel that I'm doing something purposeful, I'm doing something that I'm really passionate about. And I wake up every day and, I like my job. I like what I do. I like my life. I have no desire to go back to corporate America except as a corporate contract. So, if you're in HR and you're watching this and you're looking for someone to come and speak to your leadership team or your constituents at your organization, that is something that we do. But in terms of working as an employee, that's not something that I worry about or that I need to do anymore, because I have structured my business in a way that really works for my lifestyle. Again, not just from a financial standpoint, but from a living standpoint and from a time standpoint. And so that's something that you're gonna have to keep your eye on at every stage. Make sure that you structure your life how you want it to be. Yes, when you're first making the leap from corporate America, but also once you've made the leap, so that that is something that you can continue. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you are looking to leave your six-figure job in order to live your dream life, and you want to do that as a coach, you can learn more about my next big name coach certification, all in the description box below. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you can't wait for my next YouTube video, make sure you're subscribed to my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show, on both iTunes and Spotify. And if you can't wait for my next podcast episode, make sure that you are following me on Instagram and TikTok. It's CourtneyLSanders on both. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.